What is a unspoken, universal rule all males know? When you become a father, all your sneezes must be loud and violent. Always cup your hands in the shower and let it go once it fills up. On a road trip with our families, whenever there are cows, we must point out that there are cows. If the remote control stops working, either slap it on your leg or open the back and roll the batteries a few times. If there is bad weather brewing outside, you must stand on the porch and say something along the lines of, "Well, the rain's coming, I can feel it." You must test click tongs before barbecuing. Unless you feel genuinely threatened, never purposefully hit a man in the balls. Thanks, I'm getting massive PTSD from flashbacks of junior hyper now. Zippers are not your friend. Use them slowly and carefully, or you will regret every decision that brought you to this place in life. If you're bald, and I'm bald, we're automatically bald brothers. The guy in the garage with the door open is a bat signal for fellow men to come over, 100%. If you live in a small town, this will bring all the guys over to inspect your car and or help you fix it. Really nice dudes helped me fix some of the dashboard lights and do an oil change. Not taking the last beer when you didn't pay for it. My beer is your beer, unless it's my last one. When leaving, you must smack your pockets to make sure everything is there. Triple pat, phone, keys, wallet. Some tools require testing before use. Examples include click tongs, squeeze the trigger of a power drill a couple times, spin the socket of a ratchet wrench to make sure it's going the right way. Stud finder, always gotta check on yourself to make sure it works. When she tells you she's not hungry for whatever you're ordering, order more, cause she'll definitely be eating your stuff. After communication with my wife, I have come to the conclusion that the estimate is based on current hunger. It does not take into account future hunger. Do with that information as you will. Future hunger might increase by 20 to 40 points based on smell. 60 points if fries are involved. It does not take into account future hunger. I think you just solved one of the hardest math problems in the universe. Roast your bro when he's happy. Comfort him when he looks depressed. The book How to Write Funny says that the purpose of humor is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. If a man is with his young kids, you do not get to F with that man. You just wait until next time, or whatever you have to, but no, not today, cause dude is with his little ones. THX for the silver. THX for the awards. All are people just out here looking for childless men to F with. Depends on how horny you are. Always clean the sides of the toilet bowl with your ruined stream. If it sparkles when you're done, you win. Any object carried by another male is immediately assessed for its weapon capacity. Ocular pat down. Any object in a given space is immediately addressed for its weapon capacity. When a friend asks for help, you help them, and your best bro's good woman is an extension of your best bro. Story time. My best bro left for work early after the AM 12-hour shift at a hospital. His girl left the apartment a few hours later for her 12-hour shift. This was my day off. Sleeping late. I hear her leave, then legit 5 minutes later my phone goes off. It's her, crying. She hit a curb around the corner and the tire is blown. She has to get to work. She's a nurse too. Without thought, I get up, hop in the car, and go see about her. Her car is F edition. Grab everything you need for work. Let's go. I race her to the hospital, and she makes it in on time. I have her keys. I head back to her car, swap the spare on, take wheel and blown tire to the tire shop, and have a new tire put on. Go back to her car, swap spare off for the new tire. Call my now ex GF to come follow me to the hospital, so I can drop her car off and leave her keys under the floor mat. She has her car now. When she gets off late that night, she's his wife now. Anything I'd do for my best friend, I'd do for her too. A real friend right here. It broke my heart the time my bud thought I was trying to swoop his girl because I was being a homie to her. She was great, but thought never crossed my mind. To be honest, I was probably just so relaxed around her because she was not an opportunity as out of the question as my plans to visit Mars. I was just trying to help her as an extension of my bud. I wasn't invited to the wedding because he thought I was trying something. Not even close, Nate. Not even close. Yup, My husband's best friend rode with me 4 hours away because he wrecked a quad and it needed a new frame. I found one like a week after he had surgery. He couldn't make the 4-hour trip, but his best bud said he'd go with me. I was meeting 2 guys in the middle of bum-f nowhere. He also changed the oil in my car that week because husband couldn't. Well, he died in back quote 18 and it just devastated both of us. But I can't imagine losing my bestie. R.I.P. KJG. Miss you bud. Never turn your homie into a clown just to make a girl laugh. That just sucks. I turn into a clown for my homie. Gotta make them look better. Lot of dudes don't know this one. The WIDE step. You'll know. For those extra humid days, sometimes the testicle don't wanna run stick to the thigh, so you gotta play it off like you're doing a lunge just to stretch. It's like pulling a fruit roll-up off of the plastic. I couldn't have said it any other way. My lady cracks up when I'm walking ahead and give the old wide step and mid-step shake. The only way to cure a bad case of an STL. You must let out a sigh of satisfaction when sitting down on a lawn chair, and there must be someone near to ask you to do something the moment you are done with your sigh. FFS. Are you looking through my windows? Only the driver can modify anything on the dashboard from the car, unless that driver has verbally designated the co-pilot to certain duties. One shall slap the bag of soil in the garden center when passing by. I pretty much do this to any bagged product. Dog food, landscaping, rock. No bagged product is safe. Sometimes I get mixed up when I do this and accidentally say that ain't going nowhere. Not down to guys you don't know, not up to friends. One time I was sleep deprived and grocery shopping. Eyes randomly locked with some dude I didn't know as I was scanning for open registers. He was just hanging out in line, and for some reason my brain wires got crossed and we guy nodded, but I accidentally nodded up instead of down, and I looked away, but he did a double take. It was a disaster. He spent the next few minutes looking back and squinting at me trying to understand why he didn't recognize me and clearly trying to decide if he should say something. That was 8 years ago, and I still haven't recovered from the experience. The F-man, you probably messed that guy up more than the I like bananas guy. Polite nod down is also done for sign of respect or as a thanks in countries where you don't kinda want to socialize too much. You have to rip off icicles from roofs and throw big rocks in lakes when given the opportunity. I like to rip the biggest icicle off and then use it to knock down the other ones like a GD master on Hoth. A stud detector will not work if you don't first point it at yourself to find the biggest stud around. That's just calibration, or at least that's what I tell my family. Don't spit or piss into the wind. Don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. When you reach a certain age you must groan when either sitting or standing up, even if there is absolutely no pain whatsoever. It's automatic. Lol. I'm a painter and started doing it in my early 30s. A customer once asked if I was alright. I laughed because I really didn't know what to say. My grandfather had a mug that said, "Everything hurts and what doesn't hurt doesn't work." As I've gotten older I've come to realize that wasn't a joke, it was a warning. I started in my early 20s. 19 lol. It's so strange. It just comes out. Brain don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Muarag. You must stand by your bro while he's grilling and make comments about the level of awesome it's going to be. I did this Sunday night. Literally for an hour and a half nothing but damn that smells good and this chest gonna be fire. It was pretty good. I ate one plate. Dude, you're supposed to eat the food. Splendiferous grill lines. My man. Most bodacious char. My dude. When at a bar or restaurant and a buddy shows up, you must say some form of "I guess they'll let anyone in here." Ask the bartender, "This guy bothering you?" I wouldn't serve that guy if I were you. Hey, they finally let you out to jail. Don't look at another man's dick when you're pissing. If you accidentally see it then it's whatever, but if you get caught looking at it intentionally then you're wrong, bro. This has nothing to do with homophobia either. It's about privacy and respecting boundaries. Even gay men aren't trying to just show their dick to everyone in the bathroom. Keep your eyes on the road. Eyes on the road, not on the chode. Don't point out the flaws on someone else's car. Yes, I'm totally goddamn aware my 52-year-old project car needs a paint job. This goes for everything: point car, house, whatever. I don't need you to point out that it could be better or different. For some reason, when there's a single bathroom, and one of us tries the handle to find it occupied, the guy leaving always feels it's necessary to ceremonially hand control over to the new guy, me included. Hey, man, it's all yours. I always use she's all warmed up for yap, but to mixed result. Taking more than one trip to bring in the groceries is a shameful display. Borrow a car, bring it back with more gas than you started with. I know some guys that don't know this rule. I notice you said guys, not friends. Good call. We must feel the pain of our fellow men who we see being hit in the balls. Protect your junk at all costs. There's a reason why cowboys wear jeans in the desert. To be stylish OFC. Yay, to protect against insects and animal bites, ticks, sticks, kicked up rubble, rocks, cactuses, etc. You cannot call shotgun in a friend's car if he has his girlfriend/wife in the group. My husband's friend and I are so competitive with this, he shoves me into the sides of other cars to slow me down. That's hopefully the sign of you two also being good friends and it's a game. Or you're married to Turk or JD. Never actively thought about it, but it's true. If a friend buys you a drink, you don't pay it back, you just buy the next round. When watching TV/hanging by the fire/etc. with the guys, if you get up to get a beer, always consult the room if anyone else requires a beverage before leaving. You can shake and you can dance, but the last drops always end up in your pants. You can take a minute to milk her, but then you risk someone walking in and you becoming the guy rubbing it out at the urinal. If you with your homie and his crush rolls up, you aren't the funny one. Most dudes either don't care about this one or just don't know it needs more recognition. Not many guys tell their friends about their crushes. When you stand up to leave, make sure to do the pocket check, phone, keys, wallet, a quick slap of the knees, and say right UK. Up here in Western Canada it's whelp. Don't forget, spectacles, testicles, wallet and watch. Always bring the groceries into the house in one trip. There are no exceptions. Mama didn't raise no two-trip B. When there's a choice between urinals, use the one that minimizes the chances of neighboring another occupied urinal. I had an old man walk up to the urinal next to me when all of the other urinals were available and tell me, "Don't worry, I won't piss on you," before unleashing the most aggressive piss I've ever heard in my life. I still think about it sometimes. He was totally going to piss on you if you seemed interested. Poor manners, but absolute gigachud energy. What about sharing a urinal? You never cross the streams. If a hood on a car is open, you must stand in a circle around it, similar to grills at an event. Whenever I had car issues, I'd always pop open the hood and walk over to inspect it. First thing I'd do was look to see if my engine was still there. If in fact my engine was still there, I'd look around, puzzled as to what else could be causing issues to my car. After about 5 minutes of jiggling random things and checking to see if my car was back to normal, I'd go on to my next step, which was to call my mechanic and pay him lots of monies to fix my car, but never before first opening up my hood to inspect it for any missing engines. No dude, after you jiggle each thing, you have to try to start it again, cause you never know, and before you call that mechanic, have your bud come over and jiggle too. One of you will eventually jiggle it back into start mode. Never underestimate the power of a good jiggle. It's easy. Just check for air, spark, and fuel. And remember the strokes of a 4-cycle engine. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Be warned, I work on computers, not cars, and my biggest accomplishment on a roadside repair was to swap an alternator out on a Ford Taurus so that my brother could get the rest of the way home. Yes, I was at a meet over the weekend, and someone with the same car as me had a couple of questions. They lifted the hood, and within 30 seconds a crowd of men had gathered around. Never mind the car was mostly stock under there. Everyone had to gather. Whenever your wife/husband tries to buy something you could make but never will, always tell her/him to not buy it, because you can make that same thing at home way cheaper. The old why. Buy this when I can make it half as good for twice the price in materials, and have it finished sometime next year, if at all. Anytime you're strapped down a load you must slap it and say that ain't going nowhere. Trust me, just do it. Same with clapping the tongs together a few times before using them on the grill. And you must squeeze the drill trigger at least twice after putting on a new battery, otherwise the dad gods will cause your project to fail. My girlfriend gets really confused when I say that to her during our BDSM nights. It's because she's not a male. Next time just have your bro over for BDSM night. He'll understand it. If anything is floating in the toilet, when you pee it instantly becomes a target, unless there is a stain on the side of the bowl which takes priority. Toilet art needs to be erased. If your mate goes missing in Amsterdam, you say nothing about it, unless he is gone for more than 2 hours. Just 2 hours. 15 minutes to reach the LX. 15 minutes of window shopping. 10 minutes of MT, soul listen mechanical coitus. 50 minutes of talking, cuddling and apologies. 30 minutes RTB. I lost a mate for 3 days. He finally got back to our apartment, stoned, drunk and with lipstick all over his arm. How this happened we will never know because he can't remember the 3 days, but he could not have paid by himself because he left his wallet at our apartment. Motherfucker does this all the time. Probably had cash on him. Left the wallet just so he wouldn't lose it. Also means he wouldn't be drunk and go to the ATM to get more money, or be so drugged someone would take him to an ATM and he not remember withdrawing $600. When driving a manual, always ferociously wiggle the gear lever to make sure it's in neutral before starting the engine. Twice. Every time you grab the tongs, click them twice to make sure they work. I've had tongs fall apart during test clicks. There's no telling the absolute disaster it would have caused if it had fallen apart outside of a test click. Cannot lose the food to the floor, especially ribs. Similar to power tools. Ah yes, the press of the trigger. That must last exactly 1/4 of a second. Most important one I've seen yet. After the double click, I do a few finger spins, you know, to get the weight of the tongs. The nod. I've been going to the gym for a year now and there are about 5 other guys I see every day there. We've never spoken a word, but we all nod and acknowledging each other when one of us walks in. I'd consider them my gym friends. Best friends I've ever had. Yes. Downwards if you're not that close. Upwards if you are. Down means I acknowledge your presence non-threateningly and am moving on. Good day. Up is either oh hey what's up to a friend or you need something from me / trying to tell me something. To a stranger. Typically, I use the downwards nod as a sign of respect and upwards as a hey to a friend. Don't speak to me if I'm using the restroom. Not enough people I know seem to know that one. Like, it can't wait 3 minutes to talk about how crazy the game is going without your dick in your hand. At least wait until we're hand washing. Yeesh. I feel like I abide and respect this rule if I'm under 5 beers deep. After that, the men's bathroom is a bit of a boys club. Anytime you use a stud finder, you must first use it on yourself and say found one. Just checking to make sure it works is also acceptable. My husband has brackets in his back from surgery. Ran his stud finder down his back as a joke. It went off to both our surprise. My husband is a stud. Let your sneeze be louder than Hiroshima. Looking at breasts is like looking at the sun. A quick glacé then look away. J. Scene thought. Always leave one urinal between you and the other guy. It's etiquette. And if you can't, never look at their donja, nor grab their donja. Also eyes straight ahead, and no talking. To go with this, if there is 3 urinals you always take the ones on the outside and only use the middle one. If there is no other option available, there is a guy at my work who uses the middle one, even if one of the side ones are available, or even if both are. I don't get people like that. Yup, they're called middlers. Truly disturbed guys who have no sense of urinal etiquette. When a homie has an emotional problem you must help them. If you don't slap, touch, or caress the big bags of dirt in the home and garden section, the universe will be all out of whack. Tilting head UP equals what's up. Casual. Tilting head DOWN equals good day sir / ma'am. Formal. If a woman you don't know approaches you and acts like an old friend, play along. I did this on a Metro North train one time, and at first, the group of guys were like what the F is this girl doing? And then I mouthed, please help me. And then one of them yelled, Jessica my home Gerald, what the F are you doing out tonight? They honestly saved me from such a bad situation, and I was so appreciative. BTW. My name is not Jessica, but it made the whole scary situation so funny. When I was 20 I was getting off the tube in London and got a really eerie sense about a guy. I was certain he was following me, but we were both exiting the station, so maybe I was being paranoid. It was late, around 11 PM. The exit was long with a couple of corners. The faster I walk, the faster he walks. I end up making a run for it at the top of the escalator. There are two dudes hanging around outside. I just launch myself at them. I grab one guy around the waist and loudly say, "Sorry I'm late babe." He immediately plays along. "What took you so long? We've been waiting ages." The stalker guy stops and glares at the three of us. He looks furious, but walks away. My pretend boyfriend also sensed evil. He was scared for me. Him and his mate walked with me and waited with me until I got a taxi. A week later, a woman was followed from that station late at night, dragged into a front garden, and viciously assaulted. We need pretend boyfriends. Being the bull of anxiety that I am, I know that before today, if a woman came up to me and pretended to know me, that I'd just sort of look away and be, well, anxious. But now I know that, if it ever happens, this is why. Thank you for sharing your experience. Damn good on you. That guy was able to think quick and pick up on the situation quickly. Had this happened to me when I was a young lad in college, older woman came up to me on the street and latched my arm, said someone was following her in a car, went to a nearby restaurant and she called a friend to pick her up. Car circled a few times then parked in the lot. I got up to ask him what up and he took off. She was grateful and got home safe with her friend. And know where your wallet/phone is and walk with her to the police or somewhere with security like a bank instead of letting her lead. Thievery happens, but you should try to help people still. When a girl walks in front of you on the stairs, the floor is suddenly very interesting. When you're playing video games at somebody else's house, you're player 2. In your own home, you're player 1. If you find an abandoned child, keep it at a safe distance until another party arrives. Do not attempt to transport said child to the police hospital, and do not attempt to physically comfort the child. Once a second party, preferably female, is present, you may proceed to unlock your inner dad. If there's 4, there's 2. If there's 5, there's 3.